Victor Solomon, a soulful crooner who is known for his velvety R&B stylings, made a dramatic leap into country music during the 2025 season of American Idol. This was a shocking shift that left fans of the show buzzing with excitement. Not only did his jaw-dropping rendition of Luke Bryan's smash song Huntin', Fishin', and Lovin' Every Day demonstrate his vocal diversity, but it also solidified his position as a leader in the competition. Solomon's cover showcased his characteristic soulful flair with the heart and grit of country music, demonstrating once again that genuine craftsmanship is not limited by any particular genre. It was a masterclass in inventiveness. As soon as Solomon went onto the American Idol stage, which was bathed by a warm, amber glow that was reminiscent of a Tennessee sunset, the audience had the distinct impression that something amazing was about to take place. He had already established himself as a vocal powerhouse by the time season 19 rolled around, when the native of Virginia, who was then 26 years old, first won over the hearts of viewers with his silky versions of Stevie Wonder and John Legend. Country, however, it was unexplored country at that point. In the midst of the opening chords of Bryan's anthem, which were accompanied by the twang of a steel guitar, Solomon flashed a confident smile, indicating that he was prepared to take the gamble of a lifetime. The first part of the performance consisted of an acoustic arrangement that was stripped down, which allowed Solomon's voice to take the spotlight. His deep, resonant tone wrapped around the lyrics like a well-worn flannel, imbuing them with a genuine warmth that felt both contemporary and enduring at the same time. "If I could make a living from walking in the woods," he sang, his language deliberate and genuine, as if he had spent his entire life wandering all over the backroads of the South. There was a mixture of astonishment and excitement on the faces of the judges, which included Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie. They exchanged glances with one another. As Solomon began to make the song his own, Bryan, in particular, leaned closer, his signature smile growing wider. The ability of Solomon to pay homage to the song's country roots while simultaneously imbuing it with his own distinctive style was what made his performance stand out. Midway through, the arrangement became more intense, and it included a chorus that was inspired by gospel music, which offered an additional dimension of emotional depth. Solomon's voice was so powerful that it reached even the highest notes with seamless precision, while at the same time maintaining the raw, earthy character that helped to ground the performance. He strolled across the stage with a newfound swagger, exchanging his typical urban chic approach for a pair of boots and a plaid shirt. This was an homage to the genre that didn't feel like a costume, but rather a real extension of his craft. Solomon's cover was not just creative in terms of the vocal delivery, but also in terms of the storyline that it contained. As a result of his reimagining of the song's narrative, he transformed it into a global hymn to discovering delight in the simple pleasures that life has to offer, whether it be fishing by a river or pursuing goals while shining in the spotlight. His emotional connection to the lyrics was evident, and the audience responded with roars of applause of his performance. A flood of tweets praising his audacity erupted on social media, with admirers proclaiming things like, "Victor Solomon just redefined what country can be," and "This is the crossover we didn't know we needed." The decision that Solomon made to perform a country song was a calculated gamble that was made behind the scenes. In discussions that took place after the concert, he disclosed that he had spent several weeks researching the genre, delving into the discographies of musicians such as Luke Bryan, Chris Stapleton, and Darius Rucker. "The art of storytelling is at the heart of country music," Solomon remarked. "It's about heart, and that's something I've always connected with in my own music," the artist said with pride. In order to create a rendition of the song that was true to both the genre and his identity as an artist, he collaborated closely with the vocal coaches and arrangers of American Idol. Listeners were given the opportunity to view country music through a fresh perspective as a result of the performance, which did not only imitate country music, but rather Katy Perry, who has always been a supporter of daring decisions, referred to it as a game changer, pointing out that Solomon's ability to explore many genres exemplified the kind of adaptability that is characteristic of a celebrity. His fearless creativity was complemented by Lionel Richie, who also encouraged him to keep pushing the boundaries of his creativity. The singer Luke Bryan, whose song was the highlight of the event, appeared to be overcome with emotion. He expressed his enthusiasm by shaking his head and saying, "Man, you took my song and made it your own for your own use." This show is all about taking chances and revealing your true self to the world, and that is exactly what it is about. In addition, Solomon's performance became the impetus for a more extensive discussion regarding the changing face of country music. In the past several years, the genre has witnessed an inflow of artists such as Kane Brown, Jimmy Allen, and Breland, who have brought a variety of influences and points of view to the table. Country music, at its foundation, is about sincerity and connection, regardless of the artist's origin, and Solomon's cover served as a reminder of this fact. His ability to cross the gap between country and soul music struck a chord with spectators, many of whom interpreted his performance as a celebration of the power of music to bring people together. It is becoming increasingly clear that Solomon's cover of Luke Bryan has become a defining moment, not only for him, but also for the show itself, as the American Idol 2025 season continues to develop. This is a testament to the power of the platform, which allows artists the flexibility to experiment and reinvent who they are as individuals. The performance was more than just a cover for Solomon, rather, it was a declaration of his artistic development. In an interview immediately following the performance, he stated, "I wanted to show that I'm not just an R&B singer. I am an artist without a doubt. My goal is to tell stories that are meaningful to people, regardless of the genre." Furthermore, Solomon's performance had an effect that was felt beyond the confines of the American Idol stage. Posts on indicated that Luke Bryan himself reached out to Solomon and extended an invitation to work together on a project that will be released in the future. The possibility of a soul-country crossover between the two musicians has fans buzzing with anticipation, despite the fact that details are being kept under wraps. Record labels are allegedly taking notice, and industry insiders are predicting that Solomon's flexibility might make him a breakout star, capable of appealing to audiences in both the R&B and country genres. Solomon's Luke Bryan cover continues to garner views on the internet, demonstrating that he continues to be a fan favorite despite the intensifying competition. Aspiring artists have been motivated to embrace their own creativity and take risks as a result of the performance, which demonstrates that the best work is created by individuals who are willing to venture outside of their comfort zone. This is only the beginning of Solomon's traveling experience. One thing is certain: Victor Solomon is an artist who defies expectations, and his moment on American Idol will be recognized as a turning point in his career. This is true regardless of whether he is singing beautiful ballads or playing a country tune. Solomon's country excursion stands out as a shining example of originality in a season that is replete with artists of exceptional talent. This serves as a reminder that music, when it is at its greatest, escapes categorization and speaks directly to the heart. Even though Solomon is still working hard to win the title of American Idol, he has already achieved something more significant: the admiration of the music industry and the affection of fans who regard him as the future of the music industry. The performance of his cover of Luke Bryan was more than simply a performance. It was a movement that will continue to reverberate long after the season is gone.